What is up? Welcome to Driftin into Freedom. So I've been living in my car now for about 3 months. And honestly, as much as I love living in my car, there are 10 things that I cannot stand. And today I'm going to review that with you in this video. So I love to cook. Cooking is something that I have always grown to love even more. I am a foodie. So when it comes down to food, I would rather make my own food versus, going out to eat. But currently in my situation now, since I don't have a kitchen, I have been eating out a lot more. So one of the things that I can't stand about my current situation is the fact that I don't have a kitchen. And I know what you're saying. Why not just buy a stove and you can still cook and make your foods that way? And that is completely true. But for me, it's more about having the convenience of having an actual kitchen, such as the stove, the refrigerator, the sink. For me, it's about having the lack of accessibility to those things. And so that's one of the things that I hate the most about living in my car is not having access to a kitchen. Another thing is not having a bathroom. I tend to drink a lot of liquids throughout the day, so I tend to use the bathroom a lot. But now that I'm living in my car, I have literally cut back on liquids because once I get in my car, I am not trying to have to go back out and use the restroom. So definitely not having access to a bathroom has been one of my pet peeves, I guess you want to call it, when it comes down to living in my car. And speaking of bathroom, not having a place to shower. I mean, sure, I can go to the gym, but let me tell you, during the winter months, sometimes I have to give myself a pep talk in order for me to get out of this car and physically go into the gym to go take a shower. Because sometimes, like today, it was like 27 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm thinking to myself, I really don't want to get out of these covers, to get out of this car and to have to walk inside the 27 degree weather and freezing my buns off just so I can go inside the gym to shower, come back out into the cold so I can get back into my warm car. Let me tell you, that, my friend, has to be one of the most frustrating things for me. Like I said, especially since it's cold right now. So that's another one of my pet peeves about living in my car is not having accessibility to a shower. Also, sleeping in a bed. Now, sure, I can just get my chair removed and have a platform built and put a mattress on that platform, but it's nothing like sleeping in an actual bed, if you know what I mean. But at some point, once I upgrade and move into a van, obviously that situation is going to be a little bit different. One of my biggest headaches is not being able to stretch my legs out and sleep inside a bed. Another thing that I have been really cautious about is keeping my situation a secret. Generally, when people ask me where I'm living, it has become one big secret. And believe me, I don't like to lie, but it's one of those types of situations. Sometimes I do it to protect myself. I also do it to protect my sanity because I have literally told people that I live in my car and they looked at me like something was wrong, like I was cuckoo crazy. So for me, it's definitely been hard keeping this a secret from certain people. But at the end of the day, I would just rather not get into my business with certain people. So I do keep it as a secret. But like I said before, sometimes to protect myself as well as individuals, I have to do what I have to do at the end of the day, and that is keeping this a secret from other people. So yeah. Also, tight space. It's very tight spaced. And so moving around, I almost feel like I have to do this whole Spider-Man effect, or somewhat like I feel like I'm in the Matrix where I have to move around the seats or try not to hit my horn when I'm coming up in the front. So, because of the tight space, you don't really have a lot of room to move around. And so sometimes it can be really frustrating, especially late at night when I'm moving around, or or I can't move around, or I can't stretch my legs, or I can't do certain things as if I was in like an apartment or a house. So having a tight space can be very frustrating, especially when it comes down to even buying things. Although I'm a minimalist, sometimes, I might need certain things, or I want to buy certain things, and I'm like, wait, no, do I have enough space for that? Because if it can't fit in my car, there's no way that I'm actually going to buy it. So a lot of what I try to do is focus on my needs versus my wants, and really just trying to make sure that I don't put too many things in here to the point where I'm frustrated and I'm ready to go back into an apartment. And believe me, that is not happening anytime soon, okay? Another thing is work from home. So I do work from home maybe 2 to 3 times out of a week. One of the things that I can't do is work in my car at the moment. Like I said before, I don't have a legitimate charging station such as a Jackery. At the time of me recording this video, most of the time, if I do need to work from home, I'm usually working at a library, or I have to physically go into the office and work. And sometimes, it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing, because the good thing is when I do have to go into the office, usually no one is there, so I have peace and quiet. But the bad thing about it is I have to use gas and actually physically drive there. So there are disadvantages about living in your car, especially if you work from home and you don't have a legitimate charging station. So it's a huge inconvenience for me because I have to go to the office or library, but that might be changing here in a few. And speaking of going into the office, now that I'm living in my car, I tend to drive around a lot. I usually don't like to stay in one spot, especially on the weekends. I have a lot of errands that I typically do, whether it's going to the laundromat or whether it's going out to eat. Like I said, some of the things that I used to do before when I was living in my apartment or living in an Airbnb has completely gotten flipped. So now everything that I would typically do in an apartment, I now have to physically go out and do. So as far as me driving around a lot, that also comes with an expense with gas. So that's another thing, because I'm using my car more, I'm driving around a lot more, and I tend to fill up my gas tank maybe about twice a week. And also maintenance. Again, I am using my car a lot more. So for example, a couple weeks ago, I literally had to replace my thermostat house because there was a lot of wear and tear on it, and it completely shut down and my car started smoking. This is another thing that you have to think about when you're living in your car. The wear and tear on your car, the tires, the gas, maintenance. And just recently, I got my windows tinted. So I'm spending a lot more money on my car, whereas before I didn't have those extra expenses when it came down to my car before. A lot of you have asked, how in the world do I handle my hair? That's another pet peeve of mine. So my hair is all natural. Another issue is not having a place to do my hair, which kind of falls along the lines of not having a bathroom. So I'm actually going to do a hair video for you in a couple weeks, basically how I maintain my hair while living in my car. But I definitely have to say that that's another thing I'm annoyed with, is not being able to physically do my hair whenever I want to do it. I can't just go to, Planet Fitness and wash my hair and do my hair within an hour. My hair takes a long time to do. It's a lot of, it's very thick, so it's a process to say the least. Although if I do need to do a quick hairstyle, obviously I can use the gem, but it's nothing like having a physical place such as an apartment where you could just have all your stuff laid out on the counter and you could just, do styles or do your hair whenever you want to. And so that's definitely one of the things that currently annoys me, is not having a physical place where I can just just grab products when I need to grab it and just do a quick hairstyle. Or so yeah, definitely not having a place to do my hair is definitely annoying to say the least. And ladies, y'all know what I mean. Okay, and gentlemen, of course, as well. I don't want to leave you guys out. Before I go into the office, another thing that I do that I can't stand but I have to is I always prepare my car. And what I mean by that is I'm putting up curtains, I'm putting away stuff. I am hiding anything that would appear to look like I am living in my car, even down to the angle where I park. I usually tend to not park in the front of the building just because I don't want anybody nosy looking inside my car to see what's going on inside. Now that I live in my car, you tend to notice things. And for example, the other day I went to the gym, and that particular day, for whatever reason, I didn't have the curtain on my driver's side window. So I get into my car like I normally would, and there was this lady, she was getting into her car, and the craziest thing happened. She literally while she's getting into her car, she's like literally glancing in my car and just giving me this evil eye as if I robbed a bank or something. And so I grabbed my curtain and I'm like literally putting my curtain on my window because I'm like, at this point, did I do something wrong? So for me to have more privacy, I usually prepare before I get out of the car. Whether I'm going to the gas station, I put my curtains up. Whether I'm going into the office, I feel like I'm constantly preparing every time I leave the car. And it's because this is my home. I don't want prying eyes to look into my car to see what's going on or to see what I got in here. But sometimes it can be annoying. So preparation is a must, especially when you have eyeballs all around you. So for safety, I always make sure that I prepare my car or any place publicly. Okay. Now, although I do pack a bag for the gym, there have been times when I've forgotten stuff in the car. And I'm either in the dressing room and I'm just like, crap, I really need XYZ. And I'm like, well, ABC is in my car right now and I can't just run outside in my car and go get it. So, that can be annoying. Like the other day, I forgot my shirt, my physical shirt that I was going to wear to work inside my car. And not that it's a big deal because, I can just, get in my car and put it on. But it was the inconvenience of knowing that, oh my goodness, I prepared my bag for the night and now I don't have all of my clothes to wear. So for me, it was just an inconvenience because I didn't have all my stuff ready. So, so when I got into the car, my hair is all done, everything is all ready and except my shirt. And so now I have to mess up my hair or, whatever the case may be just to put a shirt on. So I just looked at it as because at that time, it was just an inconvenience. Another thing is finding places to hang out on the weekend. Now, although this kind of varies, each weekend kind of varies, because of my situation, like I said, I don't have an actual generator. So a lot of times I do have to find a place to charge my things. Now, I've even gotten to the point where I try to stay out of Panera Bread, I try to stay out of Starbucks, because even down to Dunkin' Donuts, because a lot of times when I am working in these places, I'm looking at those snacks, y'all. I'm looking at those donuts. I'm looking at that food. And it's so funny because I can literally go into these places and not be hungry. But all of a sudden, I see that chocolate covered croissant, y'all. And all of a sudden, I am hungry. I want to buy it. That sprinkled sugar on top of that chocolate croissant has got me at the register, literally with my debit card pulled out and ready to make a purchase, okay? So, in order for me to avoid spending money on things that I don't need, especially this is the new year, so I'm trying to eat much healthier. Lately, I find myself trying to go to the library so that I'm not spending money on things that I don't need, which is crazy, I know, but I'm a foodie. I love food, and whew, sometimes I gotta compose myself. And unfortunately, I can't sit in place where there's food all around me, okay? Yes, it's pretty bad. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do live in your car, tell me down below, what are some of the things that annoy you when it comes down to living in your car? At the end of the day, there's no way in the world I'm going back to living in a house or an apartment. But these are just some of the things that annoy me on a daily basis. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as we drift into freedom together. See you soon. So, a lot of you have been asking me how in the world I maintain my hair all while living in my car. Find out in my next video.